You know, not very many places would you even think about fishing and stuff like this. Trees all over the place. We're at Devil's Lake, North Dakota. I'm with my good friend Mercury Pro Korey Sprengel. We actually just finished the National Walleye Tour Championship here. And this kid had one of the most amazing years that a walleye tournament fisherman's ever had. Won 2 of the 4 tournaments on the NWT. Not too bad for a young guy, huh?
It was an awesome year this year.
You know what? And we pre-fished for several days before the event, caught boatloads of walleyes, caught a ton of northern pike. It was a lot of fun. We decided to come back out and actually fish with bass gear, spinner baits. That's no longer bass gear. So come with us and we're gonna show you the next bite.
I'm just looking for the next bite, next bite, next bite, next bite. I'm just looking for the next bite.
We'll continue to show you the next bite.
Spinnerbaits can present anglers with many unique opportunities. Not only can they catch many different species of fish, they can also be put to work in many different situations and techniques. But perhaps one of the most often overlooked spinnerbait applications is trolling, or in this case on Devil's Lake, contour trolling heavily wooded structure.
Oh, this one's pinned on the engine. There's one.
Got him?
Yeah, this is a pretty good one too, man.
Oh, I wasn't sure if it was the trees or not.
No, it was just pinned against the engine.
Oh yeah, this is a good one,
let's
huh?
get the net, yep. It's wide head shakes.
Feel like a good one?
Yeah, it does, it feels decent.
Perfect.
Thrashing. Oh, good pike. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
There's one.
Woo!
Look at that one.
Fun. It is fun. Yeah, that's a nice one, man. Spinnerbait. He didn't want to let it go. We weren't going to lose him.
Need a player's chase?
Oh, maybe. No, I got it. I got it.
Got it?
Still got the skirt in his mouth, of course. That's a pretty nice fish right there.
Sure fun watching these rods bounce.
It is fun, you know, they're just crushing through the trees and then all of a sudden you get something that crushes it and stays on. Oh yeah. Oh, gotta clean these off.
Nothing like some northern slime.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this is really a pretty cool way of trolling. One of my favorite ways to troll is contour cranking, where you're actually following a depth along the shoreline and watching the break on your graph. And we're trolling over these submerged trees with these spinner baits, but we're also contour trolling while we're doing it because these trees show up in a set depth, and that 16 to 18 foot range is what we're trying to stay in. So I have the Lowrance on with the detailed map so I can follow those contours, because those cups and those points are key areas where a lot of fish will hold. But what we're doing with the rod setup is really pretty important. This isn't your typical trolling. There are going to be snags because literally the trees come right up to the surface. So we're only running 3 rods as compared to typically I'd run 4 in a contour trolling situation like this. We're running long rods on the side, 10 footers straight out the side with the lead core, and then we're using what I like to call the alarm clock. We're running an 8.5 footer straight down the gut of the boat with that rod right over the top of the motor. So really, you don't even have to pay that much attention to that middle rod, because when you get a bite or even a snag, you hear it. You hear that rod get pinned to that engine. So with the combination of the right gear and the right GPS, you can catch a ton of fish trolling these suspended trees on Devil's Lake.
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury, #1 on the water. Amsoil, the first in synthetics. Tracker Boats, fish the finest. Bass Pro Shops, your adventure starts here. Berkeley, catch more fish. Mustang, stay sharp longer. Lowrance, find, navigate, dominate. Motor Guide, never stop. Strike King, #1 in fishing lures. And Power Pole, swift, silent, secure.
Better get them out of that lumber.
I know.
One advantage of trolling spinnerbaits over crankbaits is their ability to make it through heavy cover with minimal snags.
Yeah, it's a decent fish too.
Predatory species like northern pike or even muskie and walleye.
Catching so many pike, but nice bonus walleye. It's pretty cool on that down scan. You can see the fish sitting right in the trees.
Prefer to hide just inside the cover, especially along drop-offs where bait fish tend to travel like mice along a wall.
We're going through a forest right now.
So getting the spinnerbaits just above the tops of the trees and sometimes even banging into the limbs is key for triggering strikes.
There's one.
Oh yeah, that looks like a pretty good one too, huh?
Oh yeah, it's gotta be a good one. There, we're going through a tree.
He had you in a tree for a second, huh?
Oh yeah, I gotta dodge the one on the surface too. Look at that rod.
Oh yeah, it's a decent one, yup. Pretty good sized pike here. That's a nice one, man.
Oh, for sure.
Nice northern. Man, he wasn't shaking too much, was he?
No, he just laid that rod over and just pulled.
Get this old spinnerbait out of his mouth. Nice Devil's Lake northern there. Man, it's fun. Just watching those rod tips, ooh, and then all of a sudden it's,
Yeah, they catch you off guard.
That's what you get.
You think you gotta bite every limb you hit. We're out here today trolling lead core line over flooded timber. You need heavy tackle to get your baits through those trees. We're using 18-pound lead core line attached to a 100% fluorocarbon leader. The reason we're using a fluorocarbon leader in a situation like this is if you would use a super line, the super line is going to drag through the trees and cut into the branches and the limbs and create snags. The fluorocarbon line allows the line to slide through the branches, bounce your bait through the trees, which when that bait gets hung up in a limb and flings back out, trigger strikes, it puts more fish in the boat.
While proper line selection does help to keep your spinnerbaits from becoming tangled in the dense cover, maintaining your trolling speed through focused boat control is another major factor that helps to keep your baits on the end of your line.
Chase, need me to slow the boat down or anything
No,
for you?
I think we're all right. Because when you slow the boat down, you get the other one snagged up. More so than any type of lead core trolling, when you're trolling these spinner baits over these suspended trees, speed control is extremely important. When you get fish on, you can't slow down, even if it's a big fish, because your baits will actually sink down into the trees and get snagged up. So make sure you keep your speeds up. When you're getting fish, when you're getting snags, you'll be able to tick right through those trees, hit over the top of them, and catch a lot of fish throughout the day. Oh, here's one.
Got him?
Oh yeah, he hammered it too.
Need the net?
Yeah, I'd say we should get the net here. Oh, he's starting to come up now. Oh, he's coming up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's a decent one. Oh, yeah! Oh, and he's off too. That's a good one. Woo! Oh, and he just crushed it too. Look at that fish, nice fish. You were coming on that inside turn and that rod was kind of slack and it just, whoo.
Fishing information from real fishing experts. Presented by Amsoil.
Awesome new leader products for muskie and pike. for mustad this year. Several different products, both titanium and fluorocarbon leaders. Titanium in 75 to 100 for the big stuff, and then 130 pound and 80 pound for the muskie and the casting leaders. For muskie, 130 pound is what I would recommend, and trolling at 120 pound. The trolling leaders are very unique in that it's 120 pound fluorocarbon and it's a 10-foot leader system. Very unique. It's something I've been doing for years. I've been using longer leaders, and what that does is it takes advantage the visibility factor that the fish can't see it, and it gets it away from the lure. So what you're doing is you're running your weed guards or your drop weights 10 feet in front of that bait. But maybe the most unique and exciting thing about these leader systems are the snap systems. There's a couple different types. This is called a stay lock snap, and it's extremely strong and durable. It's absolutely easy to do and will prevent that lure from ever coming off. You can see that circle in there that you're actually putting the snap through and then around the shaft of that snap. It's a very secure system. And then this fast catch system is really awesome. Something totally new. You can see how that thing curls through here and then back around the main shaft, but you just grab that and you basically roll it on through on that lure, and that connection is never going to come apart. Extremely easy to put lures on and off, extremely strong. Great new products for muskie fishing this year.
Chase Parsons and fellow pro tournament angler Korey Sprengel have spent the last day and a half demonstrating trolling spinnerbaits for northern pike suspended in deeper heavy cover on Devil's Lake.
You know, we've been trolling out in that deep tree for a while. Why don't we pull up shallow and cast these things around a little bit, see if we can get some nice strikes, huh?
Yeah, they must have slid up shallow. They kind of slowed down out deep. Oh yeah, Chase.
You got one?
Oh yeah.
Let me get the net for you.
Missed it a couple times, finally got it.
Oh, it's a good one. Yeah. Woo! Look at it, he walked right into the net. Oh, nice.
Off in the net even.
Hey, he's got some good length on him. I actually think I heard you go, oh, he must have came up and swiped at it,
Yeah.
and he got him.
Well, I thought he was gone, and all of a sudden, second time was the charm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a nice Devil's Lake pike right there. Oh, and they just fight like crazy. It's so much fun. You know, on a body of water like Devil's Lake, you get to it, and if you're not familiar with it, it's really a tough decision to decide where to fish. We've focused in on two key areas, and both these areas are very consistent throughout the lake. The first thing would be roads. There's a ton of submerged road beds all over Devil's Lake. If you get a good map chip, it shows all of them. And those road beds have nice rock on the edges and nice weeds, and those pike are laying right on those weed edges. So we're finding those submerged road beds and we're casting the spinnerbaits right up to the edge. The other key cover that we're looking for are trees and submerged trees. So you can actually do a combination of fishing in the trees that are sticking out of the water and the submerged trees. The trees that are sticking out of the water on the shorelines, we're going right up to the edge of those trees, and if there's room, actually taking the boat up in them and casting the spinnerbaits around. There's a lot of pike sitting in those trees, but then also off those breaks, there's submerged trees in that 16 to 18 foot range right now, that some of them come up just below the surface, some of them are down 8 feet, but what we're doing is we're trolling those spinnerbaits through the trees, ticking the tops of the trees, and pike are in those deep trees as well. This head and tap it.
Just drop it slack. Got him?
Yep. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Get him here.
Oh. You know, it's a lot of fun. We're in a little bit shallower, and you can literally just go right up to the edge of these trees and cast these spinnerbaits, and when they attack it, they hit it hard. Oh, nice pike there. Nice Devil's Lake pike. Let's get this one back, see if we can't find something a little bit bigger.
Let's do it.
Chase and Korey are using 3/4 ounce spinnerbaits because even though they are casting snaggy timber, These submerged roads are steep along the edges, and the heavier weight of the bait allows for a more immediate fall.
Oh, it is so much fun.
It is.
There's nothing better than catching fish casts, and we're throwing these heavy spinner baits, catching some nice pike.
Keeping their lures right in the target zone.
Oh, yeah, there's one.
Right by the boat.
Oh yeah, right by the boat. He's coming up. Oh, I think this is a good one, Korey.
Oh yeah.
Yeah! That is a good one, dude. Wow, that thing was crazy. It actually hit that spinnerbait 4 times.
Really?
And the 4th time it finally got it. I mean, I just kept stopping it. I'd feel hook, hook. Got to be happy with that one. That's a
There's
good
an awesome
one.
fish. Man, this is fun.
Oh man, nice. Oh, what do you say we get that one back, huh, Korey?
Let's get another one.
Yeah.
There he goes.
Little tail flip away. You know, we're used to fishing walleyes, but we just got done with this tournament here. Came after the pike, and they're fun too.
It wasn't fun catching them before the tournament, but it sure is fun now.
Yeah, it is.
Leading information on tackle and techniques to make you a better fisherman. Presented by Mercury.
Today we'll be talking about proper procedure for maintenance on your Mercury gear case engine. First thing we'll be talking about is changing the gear lube, and also we'll be talking about greasing the prop shaft splines and checking for fishing line behind your prop. First thing you want to do is drain the gear lube out of the lower plug in your gear case. We also want to replace the gear case drain screw washers at that time. After that, we will remove the prop nut, remove the tab washer, and remove the prop. At this time, we'll be checking for fishing line behind your prop shaft, also greasing the prop shaft splines, reinstalling the prop, and torquing the nut to spec. Now that we have finished up draining the gear lube and checking for fishing line on the prop shaft, we'll be going through and putting this back together. First thing we'll be doing is filling the gear lube. We want to fill the gear case from the bottom screw until the gear lube properly comes out the top hole. At that time, you'll put in your top drain screw, and then you want to remove the lower fill plug and put the fill plug in. After that, what you'll want to do is put grease on the prop shaft and slide your prop on. Finally, what we want to do is torque the nut to spec and bend the tabs on the washer tight to the nut. Proper maintenance on your gear case should be done once a year or every 100 hours, whichever comes first. By doing the proper maintenance on the gear case, this will allow your engine to run for many years to come.
Using heavier spinnerbaits to both troll and cast, professional walleye tournament anglers and past champions Chase Parsons and Korey Sprengel are demonstrating how versatile these lures, along with the right lines, can be for fishing northern pike hiding in submerged timber on Devil's Lake.
Just crushing it. Oh yeah, that's a decent one. Oh, and he's off too. Nice. That's a good place for him to get off, isn't it? Oh, look at this thing. He doesn't want me to hold him either. Oh man. You know, there's a lot of different options out there when it comes to what style of spinnerbait you want to use. And there's a few different models that we've been using today. The first spinnerbait that we're using is the KVD Scorcher. This is actually a 3/4 ounce spinnerbait, so pretty heavy. But you're gonna need that because some of these roads that we've been casting, they come up real shallow, but then they dump off real deep right after the weeds. And also, if you're fishing over those submerged trees with lead core and the trees aren't real deep and they come up close to the surface, that's a good choice of spinnerbait for you to use. Has double willow blades, throws off a ton of shine. The second model that we've been using a ton is actually called the Hack Attack spinnerbait. This is a spinnerbait that's a little bit heavier. This is a 1 ounce spinnerbait, and it has a willow blade and a Colorado blade. So a little bit different profile, and it's actually a very good spinnerbait choice for heavy cover. The last model that we've been using, and I like to call this one the big dog, is actually the Bottom Dweller. Now this spinnerbait comes all the way up to a 1 3/8 ounce size. So if those submerged trees that you're trolling are real deep and you don't want to have a ton of lead core out to get down to them, this is a great choice. Double willows as well. One thing to remember is trolling these spinner baits and casting these spinner baits is very similar to crankbait choice. You want to change up colors depending on what the light conditions are, what the water clarity is, produce the most fish. So those 3 models, no matter what type of spinnerbait fishing you want to do for pike, and every once in a while maybe a walleye, are great choices to go out there and catch fish all day long.
No matter the depth, spinnerbaits can be an extremely effective tactic for northern pike.
Oh, he looks like a pretty good one, man. I'll get that for you.
But submerged trees, of course, are not the only structure. For fishing these sunken roads, weed lines can be just as appealing for e-socks laying in wait to ambush bait fish.
You know, we're casting them right up to the edge of that road, and there's that weed line, and you feel the weeds, and then as soon as it gets to the edge of it, it's crazy. There must be a pile of them in there.
Oh, there's a lot of them. He wasn't getting off.
No. Nice.
Man, they're fun.
They are fun.
I mean, it's, you know when you cast that weed edge and you get there, it's just, you're just waiting for that strike, and it's just, you feel a bite, and sometimes you gotta just drop that rod tip and let them hit it again, and bam, there they are. Let's get them back.
Yep.
Oh yeah, he's gone. Oh, he's off.
Amateur.
Me out by the beaver hut.
Beaver hut. I still don't know what I'm gonna say. And 3 rods is really all what I. And 3 rods is really all I.
I hope that puts more fish in the boat for you. It kind of sucked, didn't it?
The Next Bite would like to thank Anglers Inn Deluxe Lodging and Guide Service of Devil's Lake, South Dakota. For more on lodging, contacts, and guest photos for Anglers Inn, please visit anglersindl.com.